Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Rebound with yours truly, Chris Cooper. Look, guys, I am so excited to be with each and every one of you guys today. I know I've missed you guys for a little bit, but let's jump to it. I'm once again lifestyle and procrastination expert Chris Cooper here, and I have the awesome pleasure and privilege of showing people just like you how to stop quitting, how to stop procrastinating, and how to start succeeding and achieving in all aspects of your life. And I am so excited that I have a very good brother of mine here today who is absolutely freaking phenomenal. Once again, the purpose of this experience, I'm going to say, this show, this experience, whatever you want to call it, is to really focus in on this concept of rebounding. As we all know, the last 2 years has been hell in some way, shape, or form. Things have changed. You know, we have this quote unquote new normal. I don't even call it the new normal. It's the new because it's never going to go back to the way it was before. And there's key things that and lessons that we can take from the last 2 years plus in order to really propel us into our future. And when I think about this whole concept of rebounding once again, it just involves us understanding the importance of four things. Number one, the power of reflection, reflecting on who and what matters most to us and where we want to ultimately put our energies. Number two, refocusing. Once you're at a place where you're able to understand and to evaluate what you value and really put that emphasis on those types of things. Now you can refocus your effort, your energy, your passion, your fire, whatever it is in those areas in order to make some awesome and incredible things happen. And then the next thing that hit us in this whole rebound process is the power of reinvention. And this guy that I'm talking about today that we're going to have this conversation with is excellent at helping people go through that process of reinventing yourselves and being different and rebranding, right? Or branding. Maybe sometimes you didn't even have a brand before, but we're going to really break all of that down. And then the last thing, of course, is the power of reinvesting in ourselves. And y'all know I'm an engineer by degree. So when I bring it back, it's always a cycle. And that cycle brings us back to repeating that process of reflection, refocusing, reinventing, and then reinvesting. So I'm going to get out the way because I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled to have this amazing icon with us today, none other than Mr. Nick Nelson. So let me tell you a little bit about him real fast, guys, because I want to make sure that I give this brother his flowers right now. So Nick F. Nelson is an award-winning brand strategist, a creative executive, and CEO of the Brandprenuer agency, the nation's leading personal and professional brand development firm for people, founders, and businesses, guess what? Of color. Brandprenuer helps people who are great at what they do get noticed online. They do this by helping them develop a strategy, an image, through scroll-stopping graphic design, photography, and video, and teaching them how to deliver their brand message through custom content across social media. Nelson is an innovative force in brand marketing, and throughout his nearly 2-decade-year-long career has produced targeted marketing communication strategies for leading consumer products and entertainment brands. Most notable include Disney, General Mills, HBO, NBC Stars, Warner Brothers Pictures, and Walmart. Recognized as the Agency Marketer of the Year by the Atlanta chapter of the American Marketing Association in 2012, Nelson became the first and still only African American to receive the honor in its more than 50 years of existence. Not limited to immersing himself in solution-oriented ideas that only impact his clients, Nelson has graced stages throughout his years as a keynote speaker, as a host, as a panelist, and his undeniable foresight in business and engaging spin on real-world issues keeps audiences captivated, making him an in-demand speaker. So, without further ado, let's give it up for my brother from another mother, none other than the amazing Nick Nelson. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
So happy to have you with us this afternoon. This is an exciting time for us to just have a conversation. And as I go through, I've had some amazing guests, all different types of experiences from entrepreneurship to nonprofit world to executives to the whole gamut. And I've been blessed to coach clients and stuff on 5 different continents in all shapes, sizes, all that kind of great stuff. But I was really excited when I got the opportunity. And it's funny, I don't know if you remember, we connected years and years ago through April Love, through one of the programs that we did, and we both were
I
panelists.
remember that.
Yep, I think back in
Yeah,
Impact or
it
something
was
like
like
that.
it was an Impact Church that brand
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. It was a brand new, and I was just excited and blown away by what you said. I was like, I got to get this guy. I got to connect with him again, and I got to bring him in front of our audience so they can see and understand the importance of where we are and where we are right now. So what I want to do is, I'm just going to give it turned over to you really quickly. I would love
Mhm.
for you to share with everyone out here in Rebound Nation, as I call it, just a little bit about your background and how did you even get to this whole concept that's so dope of this concept of brandpreneurship.
Well, it's like with anything else. It's based off of story. So, what I've learned is that some of the best brands and some of the you know in this world are built off of story. And my story is this: started a company in 2001 called Liquid Soul. Ran with my business partner Terrell for about almost 2 decades, and during that time frame, before then, I served in leadership positions in corporate America. And in 2001, we came together and said, you know what, we're going to do something different. So we started a lifestyle marketing firm. And with that, in 2008, we secured our first major client, which was CNN. And that allowed us to be able to leave our corporate careers and begin working film and television independently. And so started doing that when entertainment firms were looking for to engage multicultural audiences, more specifically Black audiences, in a ways above and beyond publicity. So we did a lot of grassroots, a lot of event stuff, got into PR, and ultimately between the years, I say 2010, 2015, we were one of the leading firms out there, period, for entertainment marketing. So if there was a Black film or television project, we were more than likely on it, and we were very proud of that. And um, one of the things that in life you have what we call life quakes. And in
Okay.
2013, my father had passed away, and he was a professor of African American Studies at Ohio State University for damn near 40 years, and was one of the first founders of the Black Studies movement. And
Hmm.
so, in my growing up, pride in being Black and helping Black people is in who I am, right? And during his funeral, people came from all over, and they just talked about how much he had impacted them because he was a PhD and he helped other Blacks become PhDs, and was their advisor and helped them and defending their dissertations, etc. These are the people that sat at my dinner table,
Hmm.
right? He was helping, and so I looked at that time and I said, well, you know what, me doing, you know, projects for entertainment companies, they really don't need me. That's not impacting my people. Matter of fact, they're just trying to, get my people to show up and get their money.
Exactly. Hmm.
And so I said, well, you know what? I need to do something different. I didn't know what different was. And during that time frame, I was going through my own rebrand in terms of just trying to put myself out there a little bit more because I was a background cat. I was the one that did the work. T was the one that was mostly the salesperson. But
Right.
I said, you know what, let me shift that. And in doing that shift, I saw how difficult it was, how I had to go to so many different places just to be able to get stuff done. And around the same time, I began really getting into content development because social media was really taking off. And me being a marketer, I wanted to get an understanding of what that looked like. And so I began dabbling in photography and videography and started picking up that skill set. And hell, I started getting good at it. And I was like, all right, well, I'm already a brand strategist. I'm good at
Mhm.
that. What if I were to use that as a trick in the bag to make me different in terms of, being able to do all things for all people, and more specifically, Black people.
Mhm.
And so in 2017, I decided to leave my firm and start Brandprenuer. And year over year, I started adding additional services. First, I started just with image development. Then went to image development and consulting. Then created a product because we are a very product-based economy
Mhm.
called Brand Day. And I ran with that for a little while. And then in the pandemic when it hit,
Mhm.
started brand line. So took everything that I knew and brought it online and started doing cohorts. and teaching cohorts of people in terms of group training. And then in 2021, I decided to do what I never said I would do again, is start an agency. And so, because anybody that's lived that agency
Yep.
life, man, it's
Yep.
a grind.
Yes, it is.
You know what?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it different. I'm gonna do it on my own terms.
Right.
And that's where I started Brandprenuer, the agency. So the Brandprenuer agency. And so right now, it's been going well. So the premise is, people know how to do what they do, but oftentimes they don't know how to package themselves. Nowadays, people can't hear you for the way you look. And so they don't know what your message is, because you don't know how to describe what you do, because you're all over the place, right? What I do is I help people package themselves, more specifically people of color, package themselves to sell, right? You either selling a product or service or yourself. Even if you don't know what you're selling, we help you to identify what it is you're selling, and then we package you so that people can really see you. And then once they see you, they hear you. And so not only do we do that, but we help promote you as well. We're a promotional company. So we're tied to damn near 100,000 people throughout all our platforms, email and internet and social media and all that other stuff. So we give you a strong push. So when we put you out there, you are going to get seen, because we're connected to some of the top people across, corporate entrepreneurship, period, from a standpoint of color. And so they watch, right? They might not always say something, but they're always
they're watching. Yeah.
And so that's the unique thing about us. That's it's what we do. And that's
I
what
love it. And I love that concept you just said of packaging yourself to sell. And thank you so much, like I said, for walking you through the journey. I think that, I learned that I spent several years, under the tutelage of Tony Robbins and learning from him, and became one of his coaches and that type of stuff. And one thing I remember that he taught us was something really important about reasons come first, answers come second. And understanding the reasons, right, why you decided to go down this path, right? Understanding, like you said, that life quake, right? Understanding that when things change, you actually stood up and said, hey, I want to make a difference. I want to do something different. I want to impact my people, right? I want to create a legacy. I want to do these types of things. And now, even from a larger perspective, like, as you said, now you're impacting others to do the same, right?
Yep.
So I love that concept, like you said, packaging yourself to sell. And promoting and getting people, getting eyes. You can be the best of whatever you are, but if nobody knows you, then what? Like, I mean, what good is
for what?
Right?
Yeah, you're doing not only yourself a disservice, but you're doing the world a disservice. The reason why is because nowadays it's so easy to put yourself out there if you have a little charisma, right? If you know technology and know how to use these tools. But there's nothing that can beat good old-fashioned experience. And most of the people that have the experience have been so busy doing the work that they have held their nose down and they forgot to look up, right? Nose has been down, but they forgot to look up. Looking up is understanding that at any given point in time, even as we're talking right now, there's communication going back and forth, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, that you need to be a part of. And if you're not, what you find yourself is being left in the dark, right? And you become a dinosaur. And we understand what happens to dinosaurs. They became extinct.
Yes.
Right. Right. One of my favorite business school books, even to this day, it's old school, is Who Moved My Cheese, man? Who Moved My Cheese, man? And the cheese is moved. And for far too many people that are great at what they do, they either don't know that the cheese is moved, or the cheese is moved and they don't even know where it is or how to get it. And so I just give great people a fighting chance of showing other people how great they are so that they can be great. You'll get that later.
I love it. I love it. I know. And I love this conversation. But one thing I think that people get, I guess, mixed up or twisted sometimes, right, is when you talk about this concept of branding, right? I mean, they hear the word, right? They're like, oh, I know what branding is, or that kind of stuff. Can you really break down what you view branding to really be, and why it's so critical? For, as you said, for companies, for creatives, for executives, for entrepreneurs. Because I think that, people put marketing, branding, sales, they put them all in the same bucket, but they're actually different. They're connected, but different. So can you really break that down for us, please, brother?
Sure. A brand is two things and two things only. It's what do you want to be known for, and how do you want to make people feel? The best brands in this world are known for one thing, and they make people feel a certain way. I don't care if you're Chick-fil-A. I don't care if you're
Mm-hmm.
Apple. I don't care if you're Tesla. I don't care if you're Amazon. I don't care if you Auntie Ray Ray's Chicken Shack, right? You're known for one thing and you make people feel a certain way. The problem that many people face is that they are afraid to be known for a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, Nick, I don't want to limit my dollars. Nick, I do many things. I don't just do one thing. Nick, I don't know what the one thing it is that I do. You can't put a name on what it is that I do. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sorry to tell you that if you are going to impact people where they live, which is online nowadays, you have to be known for a thing and you have to make people feel a certain way. And so that's really at its core what a brand is.
Mm-hmm. I love it, and I think that's so. And the beautiful part about that is both of those things are it's kind of this dichotomy, right? So it's partly, of course, clarity of understanding who I am and what I'm about and what I offer, to the world. And then it's the second part, of really focusing in on how individuals will feel when I offer whatever I offer, right? Or whenever I give whatever I give. And I think that so many people, sometimes get so caught up, even as entrepreneurs, on as what we want to do, right? And not necessarily what people are
Yeah.
buying or what
Yeah.
people are interested in, right? We become married to our
It-
idea.
it's the thing about it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about you. It really is. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about you. It's
There
about
you
the
go.
problem you solve for other
Yep.
people, right?
Yep.
The best
Absolutely.
businesses in this world are able to solve a problem. You got to understand, and these are the questions you got to ask yourself. Anybody that is ever trying to brand anybody, you got to ask first of all, who are you, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
are you really is your story, it's your journey, it's what you care about, it's the things that you're passionate about. It is who you are. The next thing is what do you do? That's the one thing you want to be known for, right? It's what you do, right? And you got to be succinct with it. You got to be clear with it. It has to be hashtagable. I mean, it ain't the sanitation engineer, it's the garbage man. It's like, what do you do professionally? Who do you do it for? That's your audience, right? You have a target audience, and then you can have secondary audiences. But it's if you were to, have to sketch them out, right, or draw them or
Mm-hmm.
describe them, who is that person, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do they care about? What do they do? Where do they go? What are their interests? Who are you for? Like really,
Mm-hmm.
the problem you solve for them. Anybody that is able to solve a problem for a specific set of individuals, they will never run out of clients. That's called an accountant. I've never seen an accountant that did not have clients, right? Even bad accountants have
Right.
clients
Yeah.
because they solve a problem. People gotta
Correct.
have they books
Money in
done.
order.
People
Yes.
gotta pay taxes, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's something that's a need,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I've never seen a nurse go out of business, right? Right? Nurses always got, beds to be
Yep.
beside, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Even if you're a bad nurse, even if you're
Right.
a rude nurse, you're gonna find a job somewhere,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Because people are
Yep.
always going to be sick. So you got
Absolutely.
to look at what's the problem you solving, and then
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing when it comes to people is what makes you different than the next person claiming to do the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. That's where I come
Mm-hmm.
in. Like, what makes you so special, right? A lot of that has to do with your story, your background,
Yep.
your experience, your passion, the
Yep.
things that you into, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the part that people have so much difficulty figuring out because uh, a good majority of people they're humble, they are shy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corporate America teaches you not to be too braggadocious.
Correct.
Um, they feel like talking about yourself is being too boastful, and that's
Yep.
not appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's a certain demographic. Now the younger generation, that's all they know how to do is talk
Yep.
about themselves,
Yeah. Because
right?
they're
And
on
so
these
they
all the
do it.
time. Right.
They do it. That's what
Yep.
they've been talking
Yep.
about themselves their whole life, right?
Yep.
And so that even gets to even more specifically who I'm for. It really is those late millennials, Gen Xers and above, right?
Mm-hmm.
That didn't grow up with one of these in their hands, right? You know, who had a pager
Mm-hmm.
before they had a cell phone.
Yep, that's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
you know what I'm
Two
saying?
way, baby.
You know what I'm
Two
saying?
way.
You know what I'm saying? Who had a two-way? Who know what a two-way is? Or who
Yeah.
used to pay AT&T to have a dial-up in their home,
Correct.
right?
Correct. There's
Them the
that.
people I'm for. You know
There's that.
that them facts, right? But
I
because
understand.
this is a whole new different way of communicating, and there's a
Right.
mindset shift that has to happen. And the more you are, into something, you don't want people judging you and
Mm-hmm.
critiquing you, or you kind of like you want to present yourself a certain way. People ask me if I had business cards, and I'd be like, what, dude? Yeah, it's called Instagram. Instagram,
Right.
Instagram is my business card, right?
Absolutely.
LinkedIn is my business card. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So the way in which we do things and operate nowadays is shifted. And so it's my job, and what I encourage people is that you got to lean into that shift, because if you don't, you know what? You'll find yourself, they'll be digging your bones up in an archaeology or archaeological exhibit. You know what I'm saying? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because you'll become
Yeah.
extinct.
Yeah. And I think and you hit on so much. And that's even the strength and the spirit of this whole rebound movement in general, right? It's about that. It's how to bounce back, right?
Yeah.
And as you said, people have been so accustomed to, a lot of organizations that I'm dealing with now, they're really focused on this whole virtual visibility concept, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not in the office, right? So now you're at home. How do I ultimately show up? How do I still impact? How do I still get promoted? How do I still be able to move and shake, even though, I'm not physically able to rub elbows with VP this and CEO this and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So it's so critical. Another thing that you said that really just jumped at me again is, and I learned this years ago in my direct sales days as well, was, getting paid on the necessities in life versus the niceties in life, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
And
Be
like
just
you said,
fine.
you need accounting, right?
Yeah.
and,
I'll
and,
take
and
it.
I
I'll take
love,
it. I'll take it back to Motown. Like
yeah,
I love the whole concept of Motown, because Barry Gordy created something. It was a process, right?
mhm,
And at the end of that process, it was quality assurance, right? Quality assurance is so very important. It really is testing. He said, you know what? He had people listen to a song, and he said, all right, if it had to be between you getting a sandwich or this record, which one would you buy? And if
hmm,
you're not saying this record, we need to go back and try it
right,
again, right?
wow, yeah,
It has to be
yeah,
something which I gotta
yeah,
have this thing. I
yeah,
got to have it.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
gotta have it,
I
right?
love it,
If a person can't say I got to have you, or I
yeah,
need you, or you've solved the problem, or where have you been my entire life, or then you need to figure out what is it that I'm doing, or what is it that I need to do so that a person chooses me over a chicken sandwich,
especially now with them Popeye sandwiches.
especially now.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I know, right? Look. Wendy's got one too. Now everybody got one, right?
Everybody got one. It ain't even special no more.
It's not even special no more. I love it. So when you think about that, right? So I think that brings us to another really good question. So what would you say to individuals, right now, that know they have something to offer, right? They feel like it's something in them. They know they have something to offer. They're having a problem articulating it, and the Great Awakening that happened during the last 2 years, aka COVID-19, aka the Great Recession, aka whatever we want to call it,
Yeah.
pandemic, etc. So what would you tell someone that's like, I guess, woke, quote unquote, now to what they ultimately have? What steps should they ultimately take in order to make that fruition?
The first thing they need to do is take a step. That's the
Mhm.
biggest problem that most people
Absolutely.
people have, is that
Yeah.
they don't move, they don't take action.
Mhm.
They think about it, they
Yep.
procrastinate,
Yes.
they they get in their head. They
Yeah.
get in their head. There's this book called the 5 second rule. And with the
Mhm.
5 second rule, it's based off of a rocket launch. At the end of a
Mhm.
rocket launch, it says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then boom, take off,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And I tell people, from a procrastination standpoint, you have got to push yourself. And sometimes you got to trick your mind, even if it means saying, okay, I need to do this. Let me give myself a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. I'm going to take
Yeah.
action. I don't care
Right.
what the action is,
Right.
but it helps you to get from point A to point
Mm-hmm.
B and eliminate excuses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fear is an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the money is an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the talent is an excuse. All these things are excuses. You can
Mm-hmm.
find all of these things. Many people that have had less have found them, right?
Exactly.
Um, it is making the decision that this is something I'm going to do,
Yeah.
right? I tell people when I started this company, it's like I got on a boat, I went to an island, and then I turned around and I burnt up the ships. There
Absolutely.
is no
Yeah.
leaving the island.
That's right.
I'm
Right.
here. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to make it until you make it. Right.
Absolutely.
And that is the spirit of not just being an entrepreneur, but that's the spirit of living. That's the
Mm-hmm.
spirit of living. I have an
Mm-hmm.
auntie. My auntie tells me this all the time. And she like one of them South Side Chicago, will cuss you out, but then say, praise the Lord, right? Have you
Bless
talked to
you,
Jesus?
baby. Yeah,
Bless
absolutely.
you, baby. Bless you, baby. What she tells me is like, Nikki, you gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Don't nobody give a damn if you get sick, right?
that's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You either gonna be sick or get well. Which one you gonna choose, right? And it's that real talk in terms of don't nobody care,
Yeah.
right? If you fail, you
Yeah.
either gonna try,
Mm-hmm.
fail, get yourself back up, try, fail, get yourself back up until you figure it out.
Yeah.
Anybody
Yeah.
that has done
Yeah.
anything great in this
Yeah.
world has failed, right? Just
Yeah.
because you fail doesn't mean nothing. Plenty of people have failed, but plenty of people
Absolutely.
who have failed have made it also. You just got to
Absolutely.
keep on failing until you make
Mm-hmm.
it. That's all
Yeah.
it is, man.
I love it. I love it. I know that another one of the quotes I love is that, what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. And I
So
think
is
that
what's right.
people focus so much on what I don't have, those limiting beliefs, right? That stinking thinking, that
Mhm.
stuff that stops you from really taking action. And and procrastination is my thing. So I'm 1000%, in that space, and I believe that it really is a disease. And the only way to cure it
It
is
is.
action. It's
It's
action.
action.
It is.
It's
And,
action.
and
And
you know, I
you got to put everything in a place to make you act. Right. I mean,
absolutely.
I got so many damn things in mind. I got
Yeah.
people, I got accountability partners, I got
Yes.
technology,
Yeah.
I got everything because
Yeah. As
you
you
got to take
need.
action. You got to move. You got to
As
move.
you
You got
should,
to move.
as you should.
Right.
And I think that people get, I always talk about the lies that people tell themselves in order to justify the procrastination. Things
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm a perfectionist and it's not going to be perfect, so I have to wait. Or this
I'm
one.
the only one who can do it.
Right. Exactly. Or, I work best under pressure. Do you really? Or do you wait to the last damn minute to do stuff? And because you do, there's a standard that you have of your output for your work. So therefore, that's when you stand up, and it's
Right,
and it gets me, it's like, and I did a workshop one time and I said, you know what? I said, when you really think about it, procrastination is the highest form of arrogance. How dare you assume that you're going to be around later to get to it or to do it or that kind of stuff. And I think that we get that analysis paralysis and overthinking. And what you said is so powerful about the fact, invest in yourself, find the people that are great at the things that you need help with and assist. That's not weakness. That's being honest, and that's being realistic and being clear about what you want. Get the coach, get the mentor, get the accountability,
the big thing, man, is that I'm gonna be honest, man. There are people that do stuff better than I do, right?
Absolutely.
And it's just because I do it a certain way, don't mean that's the only way it can be done.
Correct.
Right. And so that's why I keep a team.
But you're doing it. Doing it. That's the thing. You're doing it, right? And I think that's the big part.
It's the big part, man. You got to. Ultimately, you got to find people that you can partner with and work with, right?
Yes.
And that's what this is about. That's
I love it. I love it. I'll use the non politically correct version of what you said, but they say if you want to take the island, you got to burn the fucking boats. Like that's what you got. Yeah. That's the only way that you get there. That like there is no plan B. There is no, what if this doesn't work? It is I'm in, right? And when
I'm in.
When you're in, you're locked in. My oldest son is about to be 16 now, and he's a wide receiver and a cornerback. And and even though we're not in season right now, this boy is. I'm taking him to to meet with this coach. I'm taking him to run his routes. I'm teaching. I mean, like every day he's in the weight room. Like he is locked in.
He's locked
right?
in. He's locked in.
And that's a different. And guess what? Come Friday Night Lights in in a few months.
He's gonna be ready.
He's gonna be on.
Oh, he's gonna be a beast. He's gonna be a beast. And you're gonna be like, yeah.
That's my boy, right? That is so powerful. And I think that, in that same spirit, what you just mentioned also was that spirit of partnership, right? And understanding that for certain things, as you said, there might be other people that complement you. I love the fact that you said you used to be in the background before, and now you're in the forefront. And there's places, and I've seen your team and all the individuals, and you have strategic people that are gifted in their particular areas. And when you bring all those people together, you create an amazing product, right? An output, because you have the best of the best in each of these areas. And I think so many of us sometimes, don't necessarily want to admit what we're not good at. Then in addition to that, not the avoidance of it, which stops us from moving forward. And then understanding that we don't position ourselves or put ourselves around the people that can ultimately be the solution, right, to what we need. And I would love to hear from you specifically, like, this last 2 years, right? I know you said you went full force, 2015-ish, right? With Brandprenuer and all that kind of stuff. But let's talk about the last 2 years or so. Were there some major shifts or changes because of the pandemic that you had to do in order to be able to not just survive, but to ultimately be able to thrive?
So yeah, what I ended up having to do was partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll never forget. I was we were good in lockdown, and money was drying up because a lot of my stuff was face to face, and we weren't face to face.
I know. Mm-hmm.
And I was, I like to exercise. I was going for a jog, and I was like, God, man, it feels like I'm pledging. Mm-hmm. And God was like, well, why don't you pledge other people? And I said, damn, I'm about to start a line. I'm about to start a branding line.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm about to call that shit brand line.
Right.
And I'll never forget, I reached out to a sister, her name is Shayla Clay, who I had worked with, and she had helped me, and another sister named Morgan Wider. We had all worked together. Mm-hmm. And I said, how about this? I'm about to start a line. We about to pledge some people. I'm an alpha, and I come through a time in which we went through our own version of intake. And I said, all right. And so I'm about to be a dean of pledgees, and y'all about to be, we all about to, just do this thing.
About to make you some Neos. I see you.
And my first line, I had about 30 some odd people, and we took them through like a 3-week process, right? Even gave them a crossing ceremony, the whole nine, man.
I love it.
And literally, I ended up taking that brand line concept and doing quote unquote group coaching my way. That's authentic to me, that felt like me.
Yeah.
And rode that thing all the way through the pandemic.
I love it.
And so it really is, it's just thinking differently. It's reinventing. And what I realized is that I didn't need to be every place, and I didn't need to do all of this stuff in person. I could do some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Or if I wanted to do it, it's because I chose to. It's not because I had to. Right.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was really a learning experience, and we survived. And I'm still leveraging some of those same experiences. Shayla and Morgan, they still work with me to this day as a part of my team. I have Monica. I think she's watching right now. She's my coordinator.
She said we the best. She said we and her DJ Khaled, we the best.
We the best. Matter of fact, she's so good. She was like, Nick, now you're supposed to be online with Chris here in a minute. And I was like, I am. She was like, Nick, I'm so sick of you. Will you please get online? I stopped at the gathering spot and got myself in order. But you got to have people in place, man.
Right.
That got your back like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I got a sister by the name of Liddell on my team. She's my bounty hunter, right? Because in this business, people gonna owe you money, or you chasing after money. She the one who find them.
Amen.
Right.
I love it.
She goes after. She's my chief follow-up officer. So I mean, it's like I got a squad that is down for this thing, and
Yeah.
they make it work. I got another sister. Her name is Joy. Joy, I suck at operations. She's brilliant at it. I
Yeah.
just give it to her, and she just
Yeah.
do it. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, so I can. It's being good at what you do. Everybody got a
Mhm.
role to play.
Yes.
Everybody wrote, yes, Monica, you got to keep me in check. Yes, okay, fine. So everybody got a role to play. Everybody got a role to play.
Yeah.
It's like just let them play their role,
Yeah.
right? I just let people just
Yeah.
run their role, and then I
I
just get
love
in
it.
line.
I love it. I love it. And, you talk about books that really kind of resonated. I'll never forget one of the business books that I used as well when I was training, and I do a lot of corporate work as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
But one of them was Good to Great. With Jim
Good to
Collins.
great. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's a classic. Ain't
fantastic
that a
book. And
classic?
and for those of you that may not have read it, he used this analogy, and he talks about this bus, and he
Hmm.
talks about you got to get the right people on the bus, you get the wrong people off the bus,
Off the bus.
and you got to get the right people in the right seats on the
On the
bus, and
bus.
then you got to figure out where you're going to drive, baby. Right? So get the wrong people off the bus, get the right people on the bus, get the
And
right
where we
people in the
going?
right seats, and now we talk about where we're going. And I love
Mhm.
that concept, and it's such an easy analogy to and visual for people to get, but it's so specific and so critical. And what you just gave everybody, I hope y'all understand. This man is dropping clues bombs. My DJ horn ain't working today, but I would normally I would sound off on you right now, because basically he's just giving you the solution to scaling your enterprise, right? Scaling your business. The way you scale by having people do what you're not good at. How about that? That's how you scale. That's the only way that you're going to be able to really win. Yes, you don't want to be the chokehold in your own business trying to do operations, and that's not your thing.
That ain't my thing. It
Following
ain't what I want to
you know,
do.
exactly.
If you don't want to do it, guess what? You probably ain't gonna do it.
Exactly. It's not gonna get done. And then you're gonna be like, oh, my business don't work. I can't get nobody. Look, if you ain't trying to call nobody chasing down for checks, no, I do the same. I got my look, my assistant, she's on that too. Excuse me, invoices due. Let's because that's not me. That's not me. I'm the talent, right? I want to do my job. I want to show up. I want to be there, and I want everything else to work.
I want to be like Silk Sonic,
Yes, I love it. I love it. Leave the door open, right?
leave the door open. I want to leave the door open. That's it.
I love it. I love it. But it's so pivotal, and I know I'm harping on this a little bit, but that spirit of partnership is so incredible. And especially, let's be honest, in our communities, there's so much quote unquote this spirit of competition, or oh my God, Nick is going to do better than me, or oh my God, Chris is going to have this, or it's not about that. The law of reciprocity says there is an enormous amount available to everyone. One of my mentors taught me, I will never forget. He said, you know what? He said, Chris, 3% is different. And I said, what? He said, 3% is different. He said, yours is blue, mine is red, do the same damn thing. And it's okay. Because guess what? Some people like blue and some people like red. So, and if other businesses, like I said, there's a million quote unquote branding companies out there, but there's only one Brandprenuer. You see what I'm saying? And it's because of what you bring to the table, what your team brings to the table, and the unique way in which you're able to, guess what, show up and tell people who you are, what you do, the problem you solve, and what ultimately makes you different.
And the thing I've learned, Chris, man, is that, and this goes for everybody, that oftentimes we literally are our only competition.
Yeah,
right? We're competing against ourselves.
Yeah,
and it's not from an arrogant standpoint. It is we can be our biggest asset or our worst enemy, right?
At the same damn time.
At the same damn time.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've learned in business enough is that I become my enemy when I fall into the same shit that I've always done,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I have to keep smart people around me,
Mm-hmm.
people that actually give a damn, that care, and that I care for also.
Yeah.
And so my clique is small. It's small, but it's tight as hell.
I know.
It's tight. It's tight.
As it should
it's tight.
be.
And so they help me. They help me not be my own worst enemy, right? So
I love it.
So
I love it.
I can have a fighting chance against me.
Yeah. Look, this me versus me, right? Face off, baby.
It's me versus me.
And I think that is so critical, and in that spirit. So let me ask you this, and I know that we're almost done, but For someone actually, I guess, looking to scale their business, right? Looking to go to the next level in whatever it is that they ultimately want to do. What are some of the key characteristics, I guess, that you look for in your teammates, right? In these partners that were going to go along with you on this mission? Like, what are some of the things? I know you said you're a tight-knit family. I know they're good at what they do, but what are some of the things that you would recommend that people look for when look, I call it your power team. When you're building your power team, when you're building that power team, what are you looking for? Who you're building that squad. Who gets through the process?
So it actually happens before you start looking for people. It first starts off, everything's process. If you I look at the fast food industry. Fast food is built off a process, right? I look, if you look at the McDonald's story, right? The way in which they were able to expand and scale so much is because they had a process for everything, right? They had roles. They had ways in which things were done. They had a way, right? If you look at Chick-fil-A, they have processes. Huge. They have roles, responsibilities. They have a culture that's been established, right? All of that stuff has to be put in place before you start bringing on folk, right? Because they need to be led, and somebody has to lead them, right? And train them in terms of, this is what we are and this is what we do. This is what your role is. The problem that many people have is that they don't know what their role is. They don't know what their position is. If you look at any team, teams have positions. You talked about your son. You stated these are the roles, these are the positions that he plays. If a person understands a role and position, they can in turn train and get better and learn and master that position. But they got to understand what that is, and they have to understand that they are part of a team, and they have to understand what that team stands for and represents, and what it is that they're trying to achieve, and what the end objective is, right? So all of that happens before you can even start talking about scaling. You got to have some of this stuff from a leadership standpoint,
right?
You can't scale if you can't lead, and you can't lead unless you got processes, unless you got established roles. Even if you don't know what the roles is, you work with people to kind of figure it out, because sometimes you're figuring it out. Right? Anybody that's an entrepreneur that tells you that they understand what the hell they're doing, they a damn lie. Every entrepreneur don't know what the hell they're doing.
You better believe it. You're learning.
It's always a work. We act like we know what we're doing because that's the job. But we don't have we have a clue, but we always trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Even when you think you've got it, you're trying to figure out. I tell people, I don't live in now. I live in the world of next. Right. I'm sitting here talking to you right now, but my whole brain, I live in next. My sleep in next, but I work in now. Right. And so it's understanding that. And then, as you bring on people, understanding what their motives are, because it's not about you. Anytime you bring on people, they have a what's in it for me. You got to understand what's in it for people.
Yeah.
Right. And the sooner you just cut to the chase and say, what do you want out this thing? The sooner that you can kind of figure out, okay, this is the end, and now let me figure out how I can achieve their goals. Don't make it about you, make it about the team, right? Because the more you make it about the team, the more ultimately it'll get to you. It's just you ain't forcing it, right? It ain't about me. It's about people. It's about growing everybody. It's about finding opportunities. It's about training. It's about motivating. It's about all this stuff. Ultimately, it'll come. It'll come. It'll come in my favor. But if it comes in my favor, guess what? I'm gonna make sure it's in their favor also.
Absolutely.
Because again, I can't do this by myself. And that's how you scale, bro. You gotta have processes. You gotta have roles. You gotta have a way of doing. And the biggest thing I see with entrepreneurs sometimes, y'all doing too much. One of my mentees, his name is T. Dallas. He told me, Nick, let me tell you something. Most people have a menu offering that's like a Chinese menu, 3-4 pages long. He's like, mine is a leaflet. I only do a few things, but I do them extremely well. If you look at my menu of services right now, it's a leaflet. I do a few things. I don't do everything. I do a few things. Nick, can you come, take pictures of my prompt? Hell no, I ain't do that. You find somebody else. I don't do that. I'm not a photographer.
Right.
But the things that are on my menu are the things that are on my menu.
Right.
And all of them taste good.
Right.
Every last one.
I love it. It's the best of the best, right? And that's what we want, right? And that's what we should all be, striving, to be.
Yep.
And like I said, think about it. Like you just said, you talked about the food industry. Okay, so we got Popeyes, we got Chick-fil-A, we have Zaxby's, we got KFC.
KFC.
They all serve chicken, right? I mean, they all serve chicken. Every
But
last
they're
one of
all
them serve
different.
chicken, but they're all
But they're all
different and
different.
unique in their way. And you go there, you may go to all four, because one
But
day
you go for a
want
different reason.
originally
You go for a different
correct,
reason. Mhm.
correct. And they like you said, and they've duplicated that process over and over and over
Yep.
again, and that creates the scalability. And I love that. And I think that goes back to the same rule, I guess, when you think about your customers, give people what they ask for, not what you think they need, as well as the same
Yeah.
thing for your team, right? Give your team what they ask for, right? You may already have in your head, they need this or that. They're like, no. What do you need? How can I make your job even better and allow us to be able to serve at a greater level? And I think that, listening,
And you got and you got to know what you got to know what each person needs. Like some
Exactly.
people on my team, they don't want to talk, or they don't want to have like because I'm old, I'm a Gen Xer. We talk. Right? They be like, say less. I got it. Okay. They be rushing me off. As soon as I get on the phone, they be rushing me off the phone. Right.
Right.
But you got to understand it. I get to the point. This is what boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Right.
Yep.
Everybody is different. Right. And you just gotta be able to read the room and understand that,
Correct.
man. Like, it's all about dealing with people.
And it's so powerful, and paying attention. I always say God gave us two of these and one of these. Use them in the right proportion. I think so many times
Correct.
we're willing to blah, 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 when we need to be listening, because people will tell you. They're always going to tell you what they want. They're going to tell you what they need. They're going to tell you if you listen. But if you're already combating and figuring out, I know their solution, or I know what's about to happen, you'll talk yourself out of it. Man, this has been awesome. I have thoroughly enjoyed this, Nick. We got to do it again, my friend. But I really want individuals to know how they can reach out to you, how they can connect with you. And let's do that real fast. So tell the people how they can get to you.
Easiest way is IG, Brandprenuer, UER. If you spelled it wrong, you spelled it right. You can always find me on brandprenuer.com. There's a link that says Let's Talk. UER, if you spelled it wrong, you spelled it right. Or on LinkedIn, Nick F. Nelson at LinkedIn.
Gotcha.
That's me.
We got some of them at the bottom of the screen, but we'll get them all.
There you go.
UER. Let's make sure everybody gets that. UER, right?
UER. If you spelled it wrong, you spelled it right.
Right. If you spelled it wrong, you spelled it right. So that is awesome. Okay, so Nick, if you had one thing, just one final thought for all of these creatives, these executives, these entrepreneurs, these individuals out here in Rebound Nation, what would you say as we sign off?
Rebound Nation, rebounding is always about reinvention, and you have to continue to look at you graduate in school. We graduate every 4 years, right? When it comes to what it is you care about, who you are, and what it is you do, it's about every 4 years you need to take a look at yourself and say, who am I today? What do I care about? Who I was 4 years ago is not who I am today. Who I am or who I will be 4 years from now is who I'm not. Who I am will not be what I am right now. You have to always take stock, take a moment, take inventory of who am I now? Where do I want to go? And you have to begin preparing for it. If I understand, my son is preparing for high school, but he started preparing for high school when he was in 6th grade, not when he was in 8th grade. Right? When he was in 5th grade, not when he was in 8th grade. He's in 8th grade now. So he's going to high school and he's prepared for it. He understands what's going to happen, etc. So as you are looking at yourself, your life and career, it's all about preparation. It's all about taking time to say, where do I want to go? Where am I at right now? And where am I trying to be? And then preparing for that, getting the tools you need for it, putting the people around you to help you get there, getting the resources in place, right? That's how we make things happen. And so that's what Rebound looks like. It's getting from one point to another point. That's it.
I love it. Well, you heard it. He just gave you the secret sauce to bounce back in a major way. So many nuggets, guys. Go back, look at the episode again. Of course, it's going to be posted on YouTube and all these other places. But it's always an awesome pleasure and privilege to serve
Hey,
each
Chris,
and every
man, I
one of you.
appreciate you.
Y'all give it up
Bless
once
you.
again for my man.
Everything you're doing.
Nelson, thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks,
Sir. All right.
Absolutely.
And we are signing
All right,
off, and we will see you next time, guys, out here in Rebound Nation. Because as we all know, that we got to basically ignite the fire inside. Why? Because breakthroughs are sexy. God bless you all. Take care, and I will see you next time. Take care, guys. Nick, you're amazing, brother. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, bro. Absolutely.
All right.